What's going on? Quick video. We're going to jump down this Instagram rabbit hole again. Got 3 or 4 little shorts. I try to keep them consolidated. I'm trying to keep these videos around 10, 12 minutes. So I appreciate you checking them out. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're here trying to get the word out, trying to link other common sense warriors up with each other. The louder our voice, my grandpa always say, the door that squeaks the loudest gets the most grease. So there's a lot of issues happening in this country, a lot of things going on that are just mind-boggling. They're beyond any sort of reasonable explanation. And I think a big reason that a lot of it has gotten as far as it has is because a lot of us have decided that it didn't directly affect us, or it wasn't that big of a deal, or it didn't matter, But now we see that all these different situations coming together are certainly having an effect much larger than I think we could even imagine now. So here we go. Like I say, like the video, make a comment. Here is short number 1 down the Instagram rabbit hole.
Number of trans-identified youth has skyrocketed in recent years. Exponential growth. Just huge numbers have increased. And what we hear from the pro-trans side is that, this is not a social contagion. It's just that, there's always been this many trans people. It's just that they were not in an affirming environment before in history, and so they couldn't come out. And now, for the first time, trans people have the ability to live their truth, so to speak. Well, if that's the case, and there have always been these sort of like millions of trans people, and if it's also true that if we don't affirm them, that would cause them to commit suicide, then we should be able to look back in history and find just this unbroken, incredible epidemic of children mysteriously killing themselves because they weren't being affirmed as trans. And what you find is that that didn't exist. I mean, the youth suicide rate has increased exponentially alongside trans affirmation. So trans affirmation causes the suicide rate, not the other way around. The number of trans...
So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, I haven't looked at all those numbers, so I can't say how much research. Or the problem with a lot of these situations dealing with this transgender stuff is that it hasn't been going on long enough to get any real studies in. And I understand that transgender people have been here forever. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is all of this gender reaffirming surgery and this, hormone blockers and, all this different stuff, especially on minors, I think we make it pretty clear here that I don't give a shit what you do, what you want to be, who you want to love, what you want to identify. You could identify as my coffee, well, not my coffee cup, but a coffee cup. And I'm all right with that. But stay away from the kids, right? All right, moving right along.
Jessica Tapia was fired as a teacher from Harupa Valley High School for refusing to hide students' gender preferences from parents.
If I were to ever find out about a student's gender or pronoun preference, that I was to withhold that from parents. And I said, "Are you asking me to lie to parents?" And they said, "Yes, we are talking about minors. Their brain is not fully developed. The decision-making portal in that brain it's not fully developed, and they need their parents at this time for everything they're going through, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, you name it."
Parents should absolutely be involved in all the decisions that their kids make.
Jessica Tapia.
How did that ever become a thing? They're trying. Basically what they're saying is that if you're a parent who has a child who is feeling like they're not in the right body, or that they're a boy and think they're a girl, or a girl and think they're a boy, that the worst possible thing the teachers could do is tell the parents, because the parents aren't going to know how do they know how the parents are going to react? And how do they have any right to take away the parents' ability? Yeah, you're going to get some parents out there that are homophobic, transphobic, whatever the case might be. They're not going to deal with the situation well. I would think that number is going to be a lot lower than they might like to think. I think most parents love their children unconditionally, and whatever is going on with their children, they love them unconditionally. So, I think that this whole don't tell the parents what's going on is kind of crazy. And moving right along.
To dive into, because MSNBC has a very high standard of what is factual. You have to go through a process before you report things on air. Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else. It cannot use a vaccinated person as a host to go get more people. That means the vaccines will get us to the end of this to dive into, because
that was some out of left field clip. Interesting how all of those different issues have just taken root, and they said anything, had us go through anything, kids missing school for years, all kind of crazy shit. But that's a whole different story. That clip just found its way in here, which is fine though.
So today, as you all saw just an hour or so ago, President Obama announced that, President Biden. Whoa!
If I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I'd be fine.
So today, as you all saw,
So, I mean, we could be looking at Obama's third term. Now he's going to be campaigning for a fourth term. I don't know, but it would make some sense. I mean, I think he does have way more control of the Democratic Party than probably anybody else right now. So if he wanted to be the guy behind the scenes, I'm sure he can and is doing that. What do we got here? This is the last one in here. Let's see.
2 years ago, I said that this organization was a disingenuous scam, and it has proven itself to be a disingenuous scam. The Black Lives Matter organization, this foundation in the USA, is a grift. They have received millions upon millions of dollars, I believe over $100 million, I think just in 2020, it was close to 100 million. So this organization has been capitalizing off of unfortunate deaths and tragedies and guilt-tripping people to send them lots of money and donations, which I believe most people think is going to go to a good cause. And instead, they are paying themselves 6- and 7-figure salaries. They're flying around in private jets. They bought a $6 million mansion. 2 years ago, I said that this organization was a
BLM is a whole different subject matter. I'm just going to say this. If you go to their website, the website they put up, they are very open with the fact that they are a Marxist group. They are pushing socialist/communist values. They want to see the collapse of the nuclear family. Their thoughts on gender and gender ideology are very, very radical. So this is not a group who, as their name would suggest, is all concerned about Black Lives Matter. I know this is the common argument, and this is like, I guess, considered a right-wing talking point or whatever, but it's very, very concerning that we talk about how many times, I don't even know how many times an unarmed black man gets shot by a white police officer. But I guess it doesn't matter if you get shot by any color police officer, it's still based on the systematic racism because somehow or another Whitey pulled the trigger. But, there's like this scenario that nobody talks about. Like, there are thousands and thousands of black people murdering black people and crimes that are being committed that we're not, if the black lives, if any lives matter, they matter always. They don't just matter when it's politically convenient. And I think that we've seen, if you take any type of a deep dive and you look into BLM, you will see that they about the bullshit. They all bought $1 million homes. All the founders that got all this high price security, and I think they got like 80 or 90 million dollars. I think they took in just in 2020. I don't know. I haven't heard of one single thing. Maybe they're doing some shit way behind the scenes, way undercover. But I haven't heard of one thing in any type of an initiative that's been put forth by Black Lives Matter to enrich the lives of black people, of any people other than themselves. They should have said their lives matter, whatever their names are. You know what I mean? Ronnie, Johnny, Ricky, and Mike or whatever. Y'all lives matter, but they with that bullshit. So anyway, BLM, that's a good way to end it. I appreciate y'all checking out the video. I like this down the rabbit hole because I'm never sure what I'm going to see. I save these things sometimes a day, 2 days prior. So I like going back through them, talking shit, speaking my piece. Y'all can do the same, man. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share this video. Get other people to see in it. You know what I mean? We want to link up. Common Sense Warriors. We want to link up. We want to be a strong chain. We want to have a voice louder than the bullshit that is making the most noise right now. We need to make the most sensible noise, and we do that by speaking out, and we do that by sharing our mindsets and not being afraid to speak up and say what it is that we think and what it is that we feel. Sometimes the truth is hard, and they've made it very difficult to even speak basic truths. But the reality of it is it has to be done, or we'll just sit by and watch this shit completely take over. So y'all have a good day, good night. I appreciate you, and see you next time.